Okay. Recorded, I did that. Great.
All right, and Sarah's online as well. All right, we do officially have our numbers that we need to get started. And it is 3:31, so I will call the meeting to order. John, do you want to shut the door just so we don't interrupted? Thank you for the location change. We've got a lot going on this time of year, so I appreciate everyone's flexibility with coming on the 4th of December. Everybody, this is the same group we've had before. We're just in a more intimate setting. We usually have a lot of people. I'm like, we usually just sit two to a table.
So it was so spread out last
Yeah.
time. It seemed like an army.
Yes. So since we last met, we've had a lot going on. Kim and Katie have been doing a great job. I just wanted to kind of showcase what they're doing on the new Facebook sites. This is the elementary school one. I think they have a great feeder. They've got Egyptian, they've got curriculum work that they've been working on. There was a lot of different holiday things going on, Battle of the Books, all of the things that have been going on there. And they have had wonderful success with their comments, just all being positive. I think because it's a focus on the kids and teachers, what's going on at school. So hers looks great. The gratitude quilts were all there to show, little Thanksgiving. The Winter Wonderlands that just went on at Moose Hill and Cell School and Matthew Thornton. So lots of great stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this is really kind of, we're not using the district Facebook as much. This is more tailored to the people that would see their kids and know what's going on. So that's been great. And then similarly, Katie has been doing the middle school one and the high school one. So they've, talked about the different clubs that are out there for the yearbook photos, reminders, the Wall of Excellence at the middle school. Congratulations to the All-State people if they want to get some things from the PTSO. I think this gets a little more traction for like questions of what's going on. I think it's good because the parents may not get as many communications as they do from the younger grades. So good range. Everything's been very positive on that. So any questions or suggestions for that, or just keep looking and putting it out there? Danny can see the prime nature of how these pictures are taken versus some of the ones on the Instagram. But food pantry, all of that stuff.
What's the significance of the nations?
So
why is it called that?
Because they call it Lancer Nation.
Oh, okay.
And so when they were gonna blend the two together,
Because it's the middle school too.
Yeah,
It's
so she put that
their
together.
nation and
I love that.
Yeah,
Cute.
and they both Katie and Kim have done a fabulous job coming up with like their headings for that's that one for Katie
Love
of
it.
the nations, and then Kim's also really good, just to be very clear.
That's amazing.
So they have really taken it to the next level with the different Canva things that they're doing, and then the showcasing. We haven't had any complaints, all positive. The comments have been on since the last meeting. I don't think Katie's actually were ever turned off. And I don't think we've gotten many private messages that we've needed to redirect to anything else. So
Are these both posted on like Londonderry.org site too? Because sometimes you forget, like, oh, what was the name of that?
So she had
I mean, I
asked
knew
about
that,
that.
Yes.
Putting it back out there again somewhere.
Yeah, I asked to get because I'm not on Facebook, the link sent to me so I could add them.
Yeah.
But no one did that.
So I'll remind them to do that. So
If you want
I'll
the
send it
original
to you,
group, you showing, but now it's like, oh, where was that?
And so, yeah, and so we do have the link to this one, which is the school district one. And this one has been really like more so for like reminders, things that are global, a lot of the school board stuff. And we did just put out the Moose Hill. So this is more global. The others are more student based and things going on. But yeah, it would be good to
Put them on the media.londonderry.org. It's accessible right from the banner from all the websites.
Even on your pages, like Matthew Gordon page,
It's
on there.
So, oh yeah, for like the website, can we do that?
On all the, like all the elementary ones and then the high school, middle school.
And we can do it on the Parent Hub too, just to have layers of places that they can find it, so.
Just need the links.
All right, so
Somebody
that
got fired
was the,
You're on fire today, all these great ideas.
so it's
Like
been
they
pretty
find it.
exciting. Yeah, it's been pretty exciting. I think the parents appreciate it. A lot of them, they have the apps right on their phone for them to go places. So the next thing that we have been working on, by we, I mean Scott, has been looking at some ideas for branding the school in town, some collaboration. So he's got some drafts to share.
So I took all the feedback from our last meeting with the different things people said between, let's use the Lancer L, but I didn't want to use the Lancer L because I didn't want them to look at it and think Lancer because we're an entire school district. People said use like the red and blue from the high school. People said like don't put another animal on on the district logo. So I came up with a whole bunch of options. There's really 3 different L's that I use. So the whole first page is the same L. Second page is the same L. It just looks different colors and stuff like that. And then we can go from there with. I think you already got that, but
I'm gonna hold this up for the 3.
We can put it in our Google Drive too.
So the feedback we got from the first group of people that looked at it, that third page with green square, that was the one that people liked the most out of the 3 different.
Say that again, please.
The one with the green square on it got the most positive feedback out of all the sets of different designs. And then it just transferred over to the back page is how you can see that stacked up on with like the Londonderry School District or the town of Londonderry, New Hampshire below it. Katie Sullivan in our last meeting said, instead of putting like the town of Londonderry, New Hampshire around it or the Londonderry School District around it, we could just put Londonderry, New Hampshire and then like one town, one district. So it like connected the 2 together. I wanted to use, not, the idea of the L was there, but then I also wanted to incorporate, if we're gonna do a collaboration with the town and the school, like apples always represent education and apples also represent our town because of all the different orchards. So sticking that in there with the L, I thought brought both of those worlds together in a more unified fashion. So that's where I developed it from there, was like, let's just use an L instead of an animal to try to incorporate something that represented both those worlds.
Scott, is the first page the same as the second?
First page is the same, this is one L, style-wise.
Yes.
If you turn the page, it's a different L.
Got it.
And then that third page is a third version of an
The
L.
L.
So-
I love these.
But that third page, the one in green, is the one that got the most
Yeah.
positive feedback
I
of
like it, yeah.
the sets.
Do you think it would be something that the town would be
I
interested
can
in?
certainly take it, I can certainly take it back. We have a council meeting tonight, and so I can kind of show everybody
How
beforehand.
many do you need?
I'll take
Mine.
7 if you have extras.
Great.
Yeah, for Kelly, Mike, and the 5 counselors.
There you go.
We can talk about it. So we were actually moving in this direction of having an apple anyway.
Oh,
We're
perfect.
looking at the idea of having, you guys talked about having a catchphrase for the school. Thank you. Ours is, we're looking at this sweetest spot, maybe, might be the one that we're looking at. So, because like, we're in a great place in New Hampshire, right? So running off this apple, we could even take this apple and put it on New Hampshire too for like a, I think it's great.
It'd look great on a hat, look great on
It
a
would look great
shirt.
on everything, yeah.
Side
Let
of
me,
trucks.
let me take it back and see what they say.
Sure.
I can, get some feedback from you on this one right away. This is,
Okay.
New Hampshire saved me literally hours, so.
I love it
Okay.
so
There you go.
much. I really love it.
Yeah. I think it's great.
You could also do too, like, depending on if one wanted to do one color and one the other, the primary color.
Oh, yeah, you could swap, yeah.
I don't know. I really,
Right,
really
could
love
be any
that.
color.
Yeah, well, because we always had navy blue, right?
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
kept the right
Yeah.
side logos in
Yeah.
case you're like, man, we really love that. We don't want to shy away from
Yeah,
it.
I
I
like
gave
more
you that
color.
option.
I like the
The-
red
the-
apple.
the
Yeah,
red
the
helps.
red apple.
Yeah.
The
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 apple's
red with the red
perfect.
almost looks too much on there.
Yeah, I agree. I like the contrast of the other ones.
Right.
I mean, it would get rid of, I think it freshens it up and does have a unification vision
Yeah.
to get through. And I do love it's Apple Town, but Apple of
Yeah.
Knowledge, all of the things.
Yeah.
simple, but-
Yeah, let me, like I said, I should be able to get some feedback on real quick on the turnaround
Sure.
for this. But you think you're right, I think it would look, and then we can each play off of it in our own ways too,
Absolutely,
if we
yeah.
want to,
Right.
so I think it gives a lot.
That's why
less-
you have like, just gave you like, it'll be like the base icon.
Yep.
But then if you want to put whatever around it, it can be around it or not around it.
How is
Could
this
be
page
below.
different?
The
Yeah,
L.
yeah.
I can see it.
The
They're the
first
same.
page,
Okay.
the L is leaning a little
I
bit
was
more
like,
on the
this is like one of those
page.
really
Yeah.
hard, like
First
kind
L
of.
doesn't
Yeah.
paper.
Fine with
Right.
Up at the
Adult
top.
version.
This
Kinda
this one's
lean,
more straight
yeah.
lines.
Oh, okay, I like
This one's
that better.
more like-
Yeah.
like say what's
Yep.
right.
So if it's going back to the
Subtle.
town,
Subtle.
do
That is
you,
like my brain is hurting, like.
do you want to bring it to the board and Dan, you bring
There's
it to
5
the
billion
district
different
office just to give
L's,
some
I was,
feedback?
that's why I'm gonna narrow down to
Or
3.
somebody bring it
Could
to-
be.
I love that. I love them all,
Do you
but
trust me?
You have a lot,
Okay.
you,
I'm happy to bring it back
yeah, to share.
tomorrow.
How many do you need?
How many do you have? Do you have
How many do
5?
you need? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well,
You know, we're
I-
trying to
I-
cut back on color printing, right, Scott?
So our contract with the printing
Thank you.
company is like they supply us the ink. It's really the paper, right?
So
No,
Cindy,
I'm just saying, we have
This
everything.
is last year's budget.
Our letterhead, our checks, everything.
We know,
is-
we know that's
One
why we're
color.
moving slow, that's why we're moving
Saying
slow.
one color,
Right, right.
moving to 2 colors, gonna be more expensive.
No, but you could
We
take
could get
this,
it down to 1
Grayscale
or
or
something like
some.
that.
no, but you can grayscale it, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
you
I,
know, yeah.
because I put the whites around it,
Yeah.
we can make that all one color for a letterhead or
Yeah.
anything you need like
Yeah.
that.
But our
Just gotta decide what
letterheads-
color that is.
so the other thing to
It's
talk
really-
about,
There's so many things that have on them, like the trucks, all that stuff.
correct, we've started, so a lot of us have been doing digital letterhead.
We
Um,
all used to.
So we're not even really printing much of
Print
the
by
letterhead
demand instead of
anymore.
having
Yeah,
a
that's
stack
like a
of
minor
9.
thing, it's really like all the trucks, everything.
Yeah, we
It's
could
just
do
really-
that.
We go
We turn
slowly
those over
over
once
time.
every 4 years.
Right.
It could be a
Yeah.
phase out.
So we can phase out, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Something to be mindful of.
It looks
Sure.
nice, I need something new.
And Katie mentioned too, like maybe this is something like at Old Home Day, that's like the first like account,
Yeah.
yep, to kind of go with that.
Great
Maybe we put it
job.
on the golf carts first.
Those
This year.
are highly contentious items.
So, all right, overall feedback in this group is great, so you
Yeah,
guys can take it back to your
Green
respective.
square work,
So the green square ones are the.
The green
front
square one, it's the same color style. It was the one that got the most positive feedback in the
Got
initial
it.
group.
Yeah, I like it, I like it.
So once we pick one, I think to Cindy's point, the next phase of this, so
The
in our
naming the
next
real
meeting, we
popular.
would talk about what a phase out approach would be to
Yeah.
not incur large amounts of transition fees.
And you guys are also looking at keeping your school like the seal, right, is like,
I mean, like
Yeah.
keeping the moose,
Keeping
keeping
moose.
the moose.
We would
the
keep our
yeah,
individual
yeah,
mascots.
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
mascots, yeah.
yeah, because we have like the town seal, which has the birds and the arrows and everything, and we still keep the seal, but then this would be our logo. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't
But we're not keeping
Yeah,
our
we don't have a
eagle.
seal.
We're not
We
keeping.
have
our
the-
eagle.
We're not keeping our eagle. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just
We
think
have
you
the-
have
The eagle's
I
gotta
think
go.
we
Eagle's
still-
gotta go.
We're clipping the wings.
Okay, all right, got it. Cool. Just making sure I'm understanding.
As much as I'll miss people using the motto against us.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So we can talk
Kids
about
aren't
ideas
flying
for
anywhere.
rollout if we have agreement from the other groups. So next time we meet again in the end of January. So if you guys come back with your respective groups' feedback, I mean, you can let us know initially how it
Yeah.
goes and then where we want to roll it out and where the different costs and the different areas that we would
Yeah.
need to consider.
Will Dan come up with a new motto to go with it?
Maybe that's something we could put
Giving
that out
wings
to
to
the.
children.
I thought it was
Dreams,
one
we got-
town,
One town, one district.
Yeah, is that it?
Well, that could be but if you
But what-
wanted something with like a mission,
Yeah.
or that could be something that you put out as like a contest for
Right.
like kids,
Oh,
here's
boy.
our new,
And let them vote. When everyone gets picked, go with it.
Oh,
Double finger to the
whatever,
moon.
we can, so that's another thing to think about with the
high school age
rollout.
or middle school or elementary?
Everyone. And we can figure out where we go from there once we have a decision on the images that we like. But I think it
One day
has the
school
potential to
district,
really,
moving the numbers.
with the rollout, showing a partnership with the town.
It would be
Yeah.
awesome, yeah, so
Take that
let me see what I can do to get.
Moving the
get folks on
numbers.
board.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah, put a number sign right in the middle of the apple.
Right.
Um,
D for data.
Awesome. All right, so from
This
that
is
big
great.
project to our next big project, Dan has a lot of information to share with you about the Moose Hill project.
Okay.
What's going about it?
So if we go here first, what we kind of came up with from a couple different committee meetings was multiple ways to just make sure the information is out there for people to vote on March 12th. So we had a lot of success last year with infographics. So we have one main infographic I'll go over today. And then what we thought was there'll be 3 more detailed ones coming about a week later. You know, so I think the one main infographics ready for this Thursday night for our exciting Facebook Live event. And then we can put out 3 more in time. One thing we didn't do last year that we're going to do this year is have a new website. So Josh has been helping me. It's actually in really good shape.
Nice.
You got to give me a couple tips on images, as all these images keep changing day after day after day. And then something we're going to try new is Facebook Live. Like, no matter how hard we try, everyone's so busy, no one shows up for meetings. That's okay. So we're trying Facebook Live as maybe the easy way for people to engage with us 15, 20, 25 minutes at a time to kind of listen to information, which would be 10 minutes of talking and then time for questions. So we have one to kick it off this Thursday. And then we have tentative ideas going forward. And I kind of saw the Moose Hill Building Committee maybe interested, but
Yes.
also a little scared of the idea.
Right, no,
Yeah.
I think that would be
Yeah.
great if they could
Anything
do a,
Is that just a
Presentation.
presentation or is that interactive?
Meant to be interactive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys all like meeting somewhere or are you all gonna be on your computers?
So we're all going to be at Moose Hill.
Me too?
If you want to come,
Okay.
yeah.
I was gonna send an
There's
email
3
out to the
options.
kindergarten
You can
committee
do
with that
in-person,
invite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Facebook
Just so that they
Live,
know.
Yeah.
or YouTube. John is gonna do
And
YouTube
John's
too.
still going to tape it so they can see it that way, like
Okay.
put it on Facebook. Yeah.
Will you keep it live?
What's that?
Are you gonna put it on YouTube Live as well? Or are you gonna wait? Okay,
Is that easy? Is that easy to make it live?
Of course it is.
Okay, perfect.
so we
There you
have
go.
2
For John.
live.
Do anything.
For John, for
Yeah.
anything.
No, we'll go live. On
Um,
what channel, Moose Hill or the district?
District, I
District,
think.
yeah, district, yeah.
Yep.
And then, we had some big success last year with videos. We'll try that again, but maybe less videos. So I think after the bond hearing, we'll just do 1 video on the operating budget and 1 video on Moose Hill. And that's it. And then, we're trying to interact with as many groups as possible. So I get to go to the Rotary Club this Wednesday morning. And then Sandra and I had to go to all the concerts. I solidified the deal with Serge earlier today.
Then we get like a minute before.
And then we have kind of the PTAs lined up over January and February. We go to the Senior Resource Committee. And then, kind of hanging things, or do we go to Town Council, the Senior Center? I think I have to have a successful meeting with the Senior Resource Committee to then get into the Senior Center down the line. I think that was like the rule.
They're actually kind
yeah.
of separate. You
Oh, they are
probably
kind of
want to do
separate?
both separately.
So both separately? Okay, okay.
They meet tomorrow, the Senior Resource Committee meets tomorrow, then in January.
Yes, I'm
But Senior
on the
Center, you'd
January.
want to talk to Alona about
Okay.
that, so they're 2 different ones.
Okay, so I'm on the 116 Senior Resource.
I can send you the contacts
Okay.
for all that.
Cool. So that's kind of the general idea. And then this is where the infographic currently stands. It's seen a couple different iterations. But we're just trying to boil it down to a couple 30,000 foot ideas. And then the other infographics will be more detailed. And then the website has more detail. Yeah, I mean, the updates.
The
I was
update
told
there.
about
Oh, I
it.
saw that too.
Yeah.
Look
Time
at
moves
the
fast.
difference, full day, like the green
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah.
that just speaks volumes right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Love it.
So we got the overcrowding problem and the full day kindergarten problem, and then a little bit of detail on both. And then I made the updates that the committees wanted last time, right there. And then, the main difference is our architects are going to push out kind of like a 3D rendering of the building by next week.
Nice.
So that's where we stand.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Are people going to be able to access the 3D rendering? in a-
Yes. So basically, like, the website now, it's like this is front and center. You can click on it. Then underneath it will be the 3 other ones you can kind of click on, and then there's a whole bunch of other
I can bring it
information
up.
after that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Josh, yeah,
It's like sort of, it's live but hidden.
yeah. So
I would
Josh will
just
bring it
like to say that at the committee meetings, the committee has picked this apart
up. Mhm.
about 700 times.
Yep.
And Dan has and friends has very quickly turned it around with a smile
Yeah.
every time.
Every time,
So,
yeah.
Yep.
So
Appreciate
here's
that.
here's how the website's turning out. So again, there's the main infographic.
But if
That's the
you-
old one, you know, again, we gotta update it.
But it'll just open up the
Yeah.
full infographic.
And then underneath it, you know, we're gonna put the other ones. So those are coming out next week.
Wow.
And then just some of the things, like obviously as part of a master plan, that's why we're doing this. A couple more details on the 2 problems.
This is great.
And then if you look at the
This
not
one.
over, yeah, so that, you know, here's some of the images from last spring. Does say
Does it say
It says
overgrowing?
overgrowing, overgrowing.
It's okay. We got
Did
it.
I do that?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
okay, it's
right,
okay.
all right, well, that's why it's not live
Yeah, that's
yet.
why it's not live yet. We got
Multiple
3
eyes
days.
are always
It's
helpful.
hidden.
We got 3 days.
Probably read it like 25 times.
Absolutely,
Once you-
right?
Once you get into a project, you can't
Correct.
see those things until you walk away.
Give it to
Oh,
It's
that'd
always
be
the
nice.
way.
Josh. With the
Yeah.
sweet.
And then if you keep on going down, you know, the finance piece is what we'll get lots of questions on, so I try and give as much details on the finance piece down here.
That's very big.
I mean, you gotta, it is what it is.
Yep,
So it's gonna be out.
and then kind of how the ongoing costs work too. And then I figured we would dump all of the old materials on there.
The agendas,
Yeah.
the presentations.
And then a couple of the big FAQs that I think keep coming up, like enrollment keeps coming up. How come we're not building at the other 3 elementary schools? Why can't we move LEAP to a different building? So some of those things we're kind of put in there, and then we can keep on updating along the way.
It's great.
Nice job.
So we figured with the
That's great.
Facebook Live, we were good to have all the different venues, like come in person or do the YouTube in case any one of those doesn't work. We will still be able to post something, even if it's just the YouTube that works, we can put that to
Right,
the
we'll get it on
Facebook. Facebook app.
the local cable access too, you know. I mean,
Awesome.
Okay.
Afterwards, I don't think they're gonna be here tonight.
So information should be everywhere, and that's the big
That's the
piece
point.
now. Yeah. Any other suggestions or ideas?
It's great. Love the brain.
Scott
Yeah,
made
I always
the
love the map.
The
And
map's
that
great.
says a lot, yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, one thing, Scott, that came up, I mean, on earlier presentations, there's this like graph that basically shows most of the brain development happens before the age of 6. When I was hanging out with the architects last week, they're like, God, this graph is so confusing. Is there any way to have like a brain and like 90% of it there and just say 90, and then I can make the little verbiage next to it. 90% of brain development happens before age 6.
Yeah.
Because the graph that we have right now is like, it says it, but it's like, what am I really looking at? It's like it's very technical.
90% of the human brain.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
it has,
I don't know, something like that, if that's
Yeah.
possible.
That's-
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, because this came out really cute.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Do you want a brain
Just
or do
felt-
you want
just
like a
make
small
90%.
kid's head somehow? Just the brain is a little,
Yeah. I don't
a
know.
little clinical.
Yeah.
A child's
maybe,
head.
like the.
A cute brain.
Super
Half
big.
a
Yeah.
What the other 10%?
Yeah. I don't know. Something to think about.
Because it is, that chart requires really a lot of
To understand what's going on.
focus
Yeah.
to follow all the
The things, yeah.
parts of it and the graphs.
I mean, by age 6, that's huge.
Yeah.
For your life. Like
And then you can put the
90%.
chart and then put the brain next to it or the head next
Yeah.
to it, right?
It could be like a stick figure or a shadow
You
figure.
might
or something.
you might
Yeah.
get a 3-page document of possibilities with the.
No, no,
Yeah.
that's like brain design.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm trying to think, you know, then, so again, there'll be a pretty 3D map at some point. We have our QR code going that goes right to this website, which should make everyone happy. And then, this makes sense, doesn't get too busy, right?
No, I think it makes sense. And now that we have
Okay.
that pink around the perimeter, so we
Yeah.
can see that the road is an addition.
Is this the latest one on the Canvas site now?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, again, it keeps changing, like every
Yeah.
hour it keeps changing.
Yeah, but that's good. If you do it
Yeah.
all on the Canva, whenever anybody downloads
Yeah.
it, it will be the latest version. All right.
It's
All
ready.
right.
It's a big, big thing. And John, you did such a great job with the videos last year. You relieved that maybe there's only a few this year to.
Absolutely.
Oh, so no departmental breakout videos? or
No,
something?
no, I think it's trying to make it smaller. Yeah.
All right, and then, we've been doing the student and staff recognition that we put out there. We've got the above and beyond. Dan's done a good job on the Instagram with staff walkthroughs. Student events, I think the Facebooks have covered it. We've gotten through a lot in the first trimester. We've got, in addition to all the learning, we went through Halloween, Veterans Day things, playoffs, Prism, and then we're about to embark upon our music endeavors for the month of December and getting through all the holiday glow of things that will be happening for us. So I think we just continue to push them up. When do you guys do your next above and beyond?
December 18th.
December 18th. Perfect. And Dan, about how many walkthroughs are you doing a week?
So I'm up to 59. This week might be quiet because of all this I got to get
Yeah.
done. But then-
59 per week?
No, total.
Oh, I was like, wow.
No, it's I think I got about 25 done in October, and then like 34 in November. So this month will be smaller, like 10
And
or
you
15.
do put every single one of them on Instagram.
Sometimes I forget.
Okay.
Sometimes I forget. I try and take pictures, and then the kids will be like, "Who's taking pictures?" So,
Yes. Yes, or he does at the back of people. They're not
Okay, you
pictures.
just
You
check
can
that
really
student
tell
list.
who anybody is.
they're organic.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so then we already went through Scott's drafts, the feedback and thought. You've got all the Moose Hill voter education. The videos are out there. So calendar for winter is our last thing to talk about, or any other things. I think budget's going to take between the Moose Hill project and budget. I think that's going to be a lot of our directed communication, like above and beyond, and then we just keep maintaining the systems that we have in place for the other stuff going on with the kids and everything like that. Any others to add to that?
The other thing I have to share with you is that on Friday, we launched a town newsletter.
Ooh.
I saw it.
Oh.
That was awesome. That
Yeah,
came out
Monday
really
Town
cool.
It's on
Lantern.
Facebook.
Yeah, that's my baby. And so in the future, this issue I just really wanted to get out, but in the future, I would love to explore cross-posting, cross-sharing.
Absolutely.
Sure,
Future
sure.
issues are gonna be a little bigger. This was just, I needed to get some mileage
Yeah.
under my belt on it. It's
Yeah.
all done in-house.
Yeah.
So no outside, by in-house, I mean in my office. So yeah, but I'd love to work with you guys on cross-posting, cross-sharing those and things. too.
Absolutely.
So,
I know our PTA newsletter has like if you ever wanted a blurb from like the schools or a picture or something
That's
to throw in, I think we would love to do stuff like that
Awesome.
with the school board.
Yeah, for sure.
Have an advertising event, so.
Yeah, exactly,
Good,
like.
too.
yeah, events.
What format is that going to be in when it's printed out? Is it going to be like a handout, or are you going to try to be like newspaper style?
I'm gonna try and do a booklet, so like,
Or like a little like
Trifold?
no, not
No?
a trifold,
No,
like
just
just
a-
like a booklet like this, except it's only 3 pieces of
Okay.
paper.
cool?
So yeah, because that's about as much as I can do without having to worry about shading the edges and house and everything.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be mostly online, like we're talking like, I'll probably print, I don't know, a few dozen.
Yeah.
Like for the senior center, the library, there's a couple of developments that want them.
Yeah.
But most of it's just gonna be online, and it'll be on our website, we have a page dedicated to it, it'll be on Facebook, so.
Awesome.
That's where it's at.
Very cool.
What is your plans for how often?
Monthly.
Monthly. Wow,
Monthly,
that's big.
I need sleep, so monthly.
Even monthly is a
That's
lot
a
of
lot.
people do quarterly,
Yeah.
so that's monthly
No,
is
we're gonna do
ambitious.
monthly, so yeah.
Good.
So that's, that was council and Mike's initiative too. Mike really wanted to get a newsletter out so we could kind of make sure we were getting out. Yeah, he's been awesome and supportive, so.
Awesome. If you have anything you need from us in the future, just
I love
reach
it.
out.
Awesome, thank you.
From Scott.
Yes. And anybody else have any others or anything to focus on?
Amity, it's Scott. Can you hear me okay?
We
Yeah.
can.
Awesome. Just a quick question I think for you and for Dan, as the conversation starts to get above the waterline with regard to Moose Hill, the feedback loop, the feedback that we'll start getting, I assume, through social media or emails, even phone calls to the district, is there any way that those can be somehow gathered into one place so that we get a sense of what's being said or what questions are the most common or whatever? The reason I ask that is twofold. One, it could help inform us for making any adjustments we might need to the website, which is going to be a really valuable asset. But secondly, if things are moving along beautifully, that can help us control the level of volume that we have and adjustments there. Meaning we may not have to be as loud because we're building great momentum, we're getting great feedback, and there's not a ton of pushback. Or we're getting a lot of negative feedback and we need to find new voices and potentially review some new tactics, for lack of a better word, as we get closer to the actual vote, if we're in a firefight.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
I think, we can set up mechanisms with like forms. I know they did that initially when they put stuff out there, like you had
Yeah.
questions that they were collecting. I don't know if we've had forms for people internally to kind of document if like some calls were coming in.
Well, Facebook
Yeah.
Live also records stuff people are saying and commenting along the way too,
Yeah.
so.
I'm not so worried about what we record. I think you're
Okay.
talking about like throughout the whole process, right?
Yes, yeah,
Oh.
just big picture. And I didn't want to create a lot of homework for people. I just wanted there to be some sense of, are we getting the same questions over and over and over again? And maybe we need to tweak our external messaging, things like that.
Yep, we've talked about that the other day at our meeting, Scott, but also just kind of along the way, I find that like as we're doing different events and kind of getting out there, we're coming up with similar themes, and a lot of the handout that Dan created was changed to kind of address that. For example, the overcrowding piece
Yeah.
versus the enrollment. So
Sure.
under enrollment versus that we are overcrowding anyway with regardless of the enrollment, things like that. So that's a good
Yeah.
point. I've been kind of building that into our meetings a bit.
I think that's great. And if worst came to worst, and I guess I'm going to watch Josh's face on this and whether he throws something at the computer, but does it make any sense to just create like a dedicated email address for people that have questions so that we're pushing them to one place to give feedback in one spot, like, information at Moose Hill School project.org or com or whatever, and just have that as a part of it so that we don't have to go hunting all over the place. It can come to us.
And that's not hard to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we were going to do on Thursday afternoon is literally the link to this new webpage will be right front and center on the whole district webpage. So that's right there. And then, there's the QR code on this thing. There'll be the QR code on every single one of them. And then, we could have like a form that gathers questions.
We could either
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
a form or you could make an email address
Yeah.
for it. A form is a little, here dumps all the responses into a spreadsheet, so you don't
Yeah.
have to go through a bunch of emails. You can just look at the spreadsheet for all the
Mhm.
responses.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we'll limit how much
Keeps it
you
in one
get, like an
spot.
email could be pages, right,
Yeah.
versus a form.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't know that you're going to get a ton of
Yeah.
emails, but
Yeah.
it might make it at least easier to go to one place.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Josh.
Go to the
Keep
school
looking at
board,
this
right
way.
there.
Just
School
gonna say
board
school
at one of
board.
their-
So I keep
So-
looking at it this way, but it's
so-
really incumbent to
But
Michelle this
to-
side,
To
right?
Scott's
Yeah,
point,
kind of.
maybe we also
Yep.
do some sort of press release or something with the Londonderry Times so that we could get either the QR code into
Yep.
the Londonderry Times so that they could check that out as well, or
It's true.
even to see the website.
Yep. That's fine. Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea. Because it's there, I guess we didn't decide that. Are we going to push everything out Friday morning too after we launch it?
Or do you want to push it out too?
Oh, we got Facebook. We have the, we have the blog. We have everything we can push it out on.
Mhm.
Then we do the Times next week too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely put it everywhere that people go to look for things
Yeah.
about us.
Well, I'm not sure if Scott's referring to what if Dan gets negative comments and Sandra's getting
Yeah.
people calling and the
Mhm.
school board gets different things. So if you
Mhm.
have one place where you can say, please direct your questions here, you will at least be able to know
Yep.
how many negatives and
Yep.
positives are going on.
It's easier
All over
to
the
track. Yep,
Mhm.
agree, it's easier to track.
So if we look real quickly, Google, I did put out with the email that Dan sent out today about the Facebook Live, we did have C3 questions.
Yes.
We did.
Yes, there's 4 of them up
There's
there.
four.
There's 4 questions.
There were 4.
That's
Yep.
great.
Oh, yes.
So you can see, and so I
Very
do think the
interesting.
benefit to having a form is that you can see,
Yep, it's easier to
a
see.
comment versus a question. This is the first I've heard of it.
Good.
Yeah.
I love this first I've heard of
Yes.
it. I love that one.
Yeah. So I think it does give us a way to be like, okay, this is where we're seeing
Yep.
different things.
All those questions can be answered
Yeah.
very easily.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Well, they should be happy. to-
Yeah. So I think if we do keep something out attached to this, if there's a way to drop the form on the website, then that will continue, and we can make it so it has the timestamp.
Yep.
As well.
Cool.
So, all right.
Thank you, Scott.
Form 2, I can see if people.
Which one, me or the other Scott?
You, Scott.
Oh, you're welcome.
Did you hear that?
What?
The town could.
I can probably put the link to the form under the budget page.
Oh, great.
I'll just make
Awesome.
sure that, I can't promise that without checking with Justin and Mike first. but I'll-
Sure.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Thank you. And if there's anything, whatever, we'll come together as we go through this process. Okay, anything else?
Is this live for sharing?
You can definitely hand it out. We had versions of it handed out already to our elementary schools, but then we'll go all in on, Friday morning.
Yeah, my dad lives in a senior housing
Yeah.
and I'm going there tonight and they have a big
Yeah.
bulletin board, so I'll take 2 and put them next to each other.
Okay.
Very nice.
So,
Junior Expo.
good.
And then I think just like we do for the Facebook stuff, those of us who are on Facebook, as stuff
Mhm.
starts to get more and more public, I think we'll find a way we can report back to this group or your communities as well.
Yeah.
To see what's out there. Okay, so we all have our tasks for next time. Our next meeting is January 22nd. We should be back to the library. But in the meantime, any feedback you have or any progress that is before the 22nd, we will share with you guys. All right,
Awesome. Thank
great,
you, everybody.
Okay.
This is amazing. I like
Yeah,
succeed at
my
anything. No
kids
offense, I didn't know you were that good at it. I've never seen it before.
You guys, see you, Josh.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, can I
Bye.
give that to you?
Thank